Hey everyone, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to IFYL. It's so great to be with you this evening, Saturday. If you're new, you'll see a QR code at the top right corner of the screen. Just take your phone, point that to the QR code with your phone app. And once you do that, you're actually going to see that it's going to display a little yellow mark, which will say my link tree. You'll just click on that, take you over to my link tree, which is believemeachieve.com. If you're having any problems getting there, lots of great videos, lots of things that can improve the quality of your life and those you care so much about. So welcome, welcome, welcome. You know how we roll. Every single week, we start on a Saturday, which is today. We have a brand new master topic. We roll all the way through the week, and we finish on Friday with some great insights to help improve your life. All right. For those of you coming back, welcome back, my friends, colleagues, and wonderful associates. I am so grateful and blessed to have you with me again tonight. And hopefully some of the new people will become loyal, just like all of you have been. Really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so very much. And our master topic, are we ready? Understanding truisms. You're like, John, what the heck is that? Okay, so you may or may not have heard this word before, a truism. It's an undoubted or self-evident truth, one too obvious to mention, and this is, as I quote, per Merriam-Webster. So let's take a look. So what are some examples of truisms? All right, so one is the fact that, if medicine tastes bad, then that means it's going to work. No. Why do we use truisms? So they're frequently used in rhetorical, and literary context because they're so easy to understand for audiences of all different ages and education levels. Are truisms always true? While the truth can occasionally be used to refer to a truism, truisms are often true. The reverse, the use of a truism to mean the truth, is unwise. For example, like I just shared with you about the medicine example, right? If medicine tastes good, then that means it doesn't work. Or medicine has to taste bad for it to actually do something, right? Pretty cool, right? But when we think of a truism, it's a great way to transport us into a belief. Okay. And our body's like all on board with a truism. Okay. Here's a great one by Yogi Berra. If you don't know where you're going, you'll end up someplace else. Now, is that true? Yes, it's true. Because there's a very good shot you're probably not going to get anywhere close to where you want to be. All right. Here's another great one Yogi Berra shared with us. You can observe a lot just by watching. Somewhat true. Let's look at another one. Roman pain. In life, more than in anything else, it isn't easy to end up alive. A little morbid. Not crazy about that one. Let's take a look at another popular one. Agatha Christie, Cards on the Table. There is the natural liar, always says the thing that sounds the best. Now, will I agree with that? No. But the reason I'm dissecting truisms this week is I think they block people from their success. Not think, I know. Sean R. Fraser, The Call of Chaos. Only fools saw mistakes as a bad thing. Mistakes were experiences, no matter how good or bad. So I think what I'm saying here is that you have to take a truism and examine it before you actually buy into it. John Wyndham, Wanderers of Time. It is a funny thing that for most men, the whitest conscience is no protection from some apprehension in the presence of police. Pretty cool, right? You see how it's important that we have to apply our critical faculties? I mean, it's really important because if you don't apply them, then it's like you're going to just do anything, and it may not necessarily be in the best interest for you. A simple one that we hear all the time: some things never change. It is what it is. Patience is a virtue. Now, patience is something we need to have, but in order to get patience, we have to be in the moment. The apple never falls far from the tree. So this is a good way of saying maybe there's a person in your class, and maybe you're someone who always is getting into trouble. But then there's another person that hangs around you, and when the teacher sees that they're hanging around you, well, the apple never falls far from the tree. Look who you're hanging around. Success breeds success. Does that really ring true? It does. Because, see, when you feel success, you want to create more of it. You must be a friend to get a friend. I agree with that. Because if you don't treat others the way you want to be treated, they're not going to treat you that way. Life isn't fair. I think we put ourselves in a corner and we tell ourselves life's not fair when we're not getting what we want, but it's really not life's fault. It's our fault. Okay? So truism is a misused word, right? Misused to mean something that is true and meaningful when oftentimes it's not. So you can see how having truisms can be good, but it also can be bad, because if you actually buy into a truism, right? You might be disappointed, or you might steer yourself down the wrong path. Again, it allows people to just connect with a situation. Let's take a look at another one. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, it's not just the apple, it's the whole mentality of living a healthier lifestyle. So it's not just the apple, right? And I think you start to understand that as our world evolves, it's not just words on paper, it's the thoughts and how we think about them to create something in our lives. Does that make sense to everybody? So there are types of truisms. Okay. There's a bromide, a truism that is intended to comfort or calm someone, but is basically meaningless due to overuse. There's a platitude, a truism typically dealing with morality, that is meaningless and ineffective due to overuse as well. Does everybody see how this works? So if I asked you right now, let's say a common truism, what would you say to me? I think you'd probably say something like, maybe it might say something to me like, a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. This all comes from the revelation of an idea that is based on playing it safe. If Bill Gates thought this way, he obviously would not have become who he is today. When we get to that bridge, we will cross it. life begins at a certain number. I mean, I think all these things are here to give us motivation and to propel us to another step in our journey, because I think people get demotivated when things happen in life, right? Um, the end justifies the means. What we're saying here is that if someone is bad and hurts others, in order to feed people or to survive, then I guess it must be okay. Wrong. But you see how you can fall into this trap? You can get trapped into this so easily. And then, you know what happens? You're suddenly like, what did I just do? Life is Difficult by Scott Peck. The Road Less Traveled, A New Psychology of Love, Traditional Values, and Spiritual Growth. Is life difficult? I don't think life is difficult. I think life is what you make it and what you perceive it to be. Bet you expect me to say that. You see, so many people in our world, and I'm not trying to rat on people, but everyone is looking for an excuse. Well, why didn't that work? Why didn't I get where I wanted to go? You didn't. Suck it up and figure out a better way. An idea, remember, is just information. It doesn't really control or put us into some direction until we accept it, right? Another interesting one, I think that's something cool to share with you. This was a tall order, and one could criticize it on the grounds that it was somewhat circular. How can you justify your methods of reasoning on the basis of those same methods of reasoning? So when you say something's a tall order, you're already saying the expectation that this is going to be hard. If you want to keep a friend, never test him. I can't say that I agree to that, because sometimes maybe you do need to trust your friend, but sometimes you do need to test them before you're able to share more personal details or really trust them with something in your life that you don't let too many people have access to. Does that make any sense to anybody? Truisms are actually something that can stunt growth in the mind. And they also have a way of shutting down our creativity. But then somebody might say to me, John, well, when are truisms true? Truisms are not always true, but they're true when you have researched them and agree with the premises for which they're constructed under, then they're true. There is no hard and fast rule that says a truism needs to be true 90% of the time. No. Or how about some investing truisms, right? We hear these all the time. Maybe you must invest twice of what you make each month before you'll see a return. That's not always true. Forget everything you were ever told in life. Just start investing. Well, that's not good either. You see how this can really put you down a one-way street or put you, you know, up a stream without a paddle? You know, some of the best truisms we have come from history. Did you know that? Truisms in history. all men are born equal and entitled to protection, excepting those whose skins are of a different color and hair woolly, or to prevent mistake, except Afro-Americans, etc. See, that's an example of a truism that is based on a religious teaching and is also based on history. So the beginning says, all men are born equal and entitled to protection, excepting those whose skins are a different color, hair woolly, or to prevent mistake. See, that is a very bad but easy way that people can fall into prejudice. That sounds pretty cool. Let's look at another one, shall we? The rules you live by, you are victim to. Wish things away is not effective. We must make sacrifices to maintain our quality of life. War is a purification rite. Using force to stop force is absurd. Is it? Or is this just something that somebody had in their mind to try to convince and manipulate you to changing your action? I think that's pretty cool, ladies and gentlemen. So you probably have heard truisms your whole life, but you didn't really know how strong they were. Why? I think because you hear it so many times. And we all know that when, as we've talked about before in patterns, when we hear things so many times, it changes. So let's just go through some more types of truisms. So we have cliches. It's a statement that is said so often that it loses its meaning, right? And a lot of truisms are cliches. Platitudes. It's a conforming statement that sounds falsely wise, but is actually devoid of a valuable meaning. Bromides. A bromide is a boring or obvious remark that does not help the reader or listener. Most truisms are also bromides. Aphorism is a truthful statement that can be handed down through generations. Some are also truisms. You can use truisms in your writing. Some things never change. People never change. You might have heard the one before. Hard times and tough people. You remember that one? Hard times will end. Tough people will not. So I want to end on this note. If you're going through your entire life and saying, oh, I never get my fair break. I never get the right things. The bad cards are always dealt to me. So you're always looking at that cup. And I'm going to show you later on this week. I'm going to get a cup and show you how you're always looking at that glass or that cup as being half empty instead of half full. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It has been an amazing privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you again this wonderful night. I hope you'll like, love, and support my channel. Definitely comment below. Let me know. What do you think about truisms? Tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. And then go to my YouTube channel, John Space E Space Morley Space Serial Entrepreneur, and look for that key phrase to help keep our content free. And make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a savory slice of watermelon, a hot chocolate, or a refreshing beverage. Either way, we'll be grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest them into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational content ever. Remember, I provide the fuel that will empower your life if you allow it to And that is if you want to become better and change your life. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, everyone.